All right, guys, thank you for joining me today. Appreciate it as always. We'll be driving and listening. All right, let's get the 5 by 5s out of the way and we'll get started with the live stream. All right, Bass Bunny, Dobie, thank you for the 5 by 5. Ozark, Coffee, Cowboy, First Last, thank you for the 5 by 5. Sarita, good morning. Michelle, Coffee First, sorry. Gary, Ryan, thank you for the 5 by 5. Be Real, Mitch, Dave, Lori, thank you for the 5 by 5. Buster, Kathy, Betty, thank you for the 5 by 5. Feeling the same. I mean, no different. Trish, thank you for the 5 by 5. Coffee, I've been honey the last few days. So, it is what it is. It'll get better. Mitch, thank you for that. Uptech, Johnny, thank you for the 5 by 5. Raymond, Kathy, Buster, thank you for the 5 by 5. Miss Ashley, thank you for the 5 by 5. Carol, thank you for the 5 by 5. All right. So, I guess I'll start the show off with this. I saw this and I was like, listen, I'm not to be a prick about it, but China has been building a lot of infrastructures way too fast. And they started, well, this bridge finally collapsed on them. At least I thought it was AI. I made sure I looked it up before, you know, posting this, but this is a bridge collapse.
오호, 처음에 딜로.
Now, supposedly nobody was on that bridge, which was a good thing, but this is one of the things that happens when you build too quickly. You build faster than your technology allows you to do, and this is what we're going to see. We're probably going to see more and more of this in places like China. Now, here in New York City, we are building buildings really fast here, and a lot of us firefighters are assuming that this is going to happen as well. And that's the craziness about it. So, yeah, very interesting that the whole building fast is actually catching up actually with China. And yeah, foam is not, depends on the kind of foam too, isn't good. Flammable foam, obviously, if you have a fire, it's going to race through that building. But New York City, we're seeing the same thing. We're seeing buildings, not bridges. Buildings go up really fast, and we're like, this can't be cool. This can't be a good thing. Putting up it used to take like a year or so to put a building up. Now it takes like a couple of months, inside of 8 to 9 months, to put a building up. The structure, the floors inside, the electricity is about another month or so 10 months. We've never seen buildings put up so quick. Now, granted, technology and certain materials allow it to be built faster because it's lighter, it's cheaper. We get it, but the amount of buildings that are going up here in the city are insane. A lot of luxury condos in Boston area literally thrown up in no time. Base Bunny, exactly. We're seeing the same thing here, but all kinds of buildings, low income, luxury apartments, millionaire buildings or apartment buildings built in no time. We're just looking at it like this can't be good. Like the first time New York City gets an earthquake, yo, toast. A lot of those buildings are not built for it, and I'm pretty sure they skirt that they skirt that requirement. From what I read a while ago, New York City was supposed to have some kind of earthquake standard. And this was a while ago. This was like 20, 30 years ago. Just in case there was an earthquake. And guess what? There wasn't. So apparently, Epstein files are being released a little bit at a time. There was a petition, if you will, 218 signatures on this petition to push the Epstein file. Now, the Oversight Committee is releasing emails, and apparently, Epstein said Trump knew about girls in 2019 email. That's what the House of Democrats is saying. And again, guys, it's interesting that anytime Trump's name ends up in an email or some kind of letter or statement or conversation, the Democrats are willing to push that. But they're not willing to push out the thousands of other politicians that are also in those emails or conversations. They only focused on Trump. And granted, he might have known about the girls. That's a weird conversation to have with somebody via email at that. Like, I think a lot of these emails are fabricated anyway. Not saying that Trump doesn't know, is not involved. I believe that he was involved in Epstein's, shenanigans at some level, but I don't think he was the only one, obviously. But they're trying to make it like he was the only one. That's the craziness about it. And everybody sits here and go, well, we got to get Trump out of office. How about we get the thousands of politicians or tens of thousands of politicians from around the world out of office? Let's start there. But Trump said it was a line. It was a lie made up. You don't need to. Yeah, of course. Thank you, Hudson Valley. And hope you're feeling better too, by the way. Tell you, getting old sucks, dude. Everything's a crick and a crack. So anyway, again, the petition was signed, and they're still pushing the Epstein file. And granted, Trump turning around and telling his the MAGA-based crowd, forget about the Epstein file, and calling MAGA stupid, or they need to focus on other things. That's pretty much, in my book, an implication that you were definitely involved. That's all I need. That, or high, powerful people he know were involved in there as well, and he's just trying to get everybody to forget about it after promising people for about a few months that he was going to make this work. All right, so Mamdani is working on strike 2. Now, I do not recall if Mamdani ever said he would never talk to Trump, but he motherfucked Trump so badly during his, not inauguration speech, but his acceptance speech, that he sounded like he was never going to talk to him. Well, so Mamdani says that this is a relationship that will be critical between Mamdani and President Trump. So now he's looking to reach out to Trump. Now, he gets inaugurated January 1st, right? So that's the first day of the year. And after he gets inaugurated, he'll probably start talking to him. Though, he needs to start clearing the path now. Why would you wait till January to do so? And I don't understand any mayor who sits there and motherfucks Trump knowing that there's a ton of federal funding that you need from the United States president. That's the more bizarre thing. I mean, maybe he's doing it for show. Maybe he's doing it because he's like, we don't need him. We're going to raise money. We're going to do it this way. And then he gets into office and he's like, oh, shit. This is a lot more than I thought. So there is that. But anyway, the mayor-elect Mamdani confirmed Tuesday that he will reach out to President Trump before taking office New Year's Day, telling NBC News in an interview that the relationship between City Hall and the White House will be critical to the success of the city. I am pretty sure, in a lot of words, Mamdani told Trump to go fuck himself. Mamdani, 34, didn't specify whether he would contact the administration, but said he would be proactive as he tries to thwart Trump's hardline immigration and criminal policies. Good luck. If Trump wants to speak, this is Mamdani. If Trump wants to speak about lowering the cost of living or delivering cheaper groceries like he ran in his 2024 election, I'm there to have the conversation, the mayor elect said, later adding that he would tell the commander in chief, I'm here to work for the benefit of everyone that calls this city home. Whatever. Migrants too? Forget it. And that, whatever there is a possibility for working together towards that end, I'm ready. And if the administration policies are to the expense of those New Yorkers, I will fight. Whatever. Now, I don't see that relationship going very far, especially being that Trump remembered everything he said about him during the election. Again, you can't badmouth this shit. And some people will sit there and go, some people will sit there and go, it's part of politics. Yes, there's a part of politics where you're breaking your opponent's balls. I understand that. But to motherfuck your politician and call him every name under the sun, that's not part of politics. That's being an asshole. Especially knowing that you need the help. Mega dose of vitamin C. I have vitamin C. I'll take some after this. I also have to get cloves. I have to go walk and find cloves and boil that, because I have cinnamon, I have honey, ginger, and eat cloves. Apparently, it's good for coughs. I know someone's talking about depression. Depression sucks. I'm gonna tell you this right now. It's the worst. I mean, I've seen people suffer through it, but to actually go through it, brutal. But the difference is, I know that, so I don't let it get to me. No, I did not order the Eclampian stuff. I didn't order it yet. Probably gonna order it today. But anyway, so here's something that's being floated, and I think this is absolutely part of the World Economic Forum's plan. It's just a first step, that is, a 50-year mortgage. So Trump is floating the idea of a 50-year mortgage, a bold, if not controversial, attempt to make home buying more affordable while the median age of buyers skyrocket and mortgage demands lower. Now, the problem with the 50-year mortgage, first of all, it's insane. When I heard the idea, I immediately thought the World Economic Forum, because I'm like, wait a minute, a 50-year mortgage, they make it seem like it's for the betterment of you, that for the betterment of the home buyer, this is going to make it more affordable. It's not actually more affordable. You're paying into something a lot longer, and you're putting more interest into something, and you're paying an absurd amount of cost. Now, somebody did the math here, and they said a borrower would pay an additional $398,000 in interest over the life of a 50-year mortgage, compared to a 30-year mortgage, which I thought a 30-year mortgage was too much. I don't even own a home. So a 50-year mortgage, they're getting more money out of you. This is a dangerous idea to float. Yes, the person who doesn't understand finance, and I don't understand finance that well, but I know that this sucks. This sucks a million dicks. I'm out on this shit. But anyway, details remain hazy, but Bill Polk, director of Federal Housing Agency, Finance Agency, said over the weekend the administration is working on the proposal, which he called a complete game changer. Absolutely be a game changer. You would own that house for the duration of your lifespan, unless you outlived. So if the average person buys a home at like 30, a 50-year mortgage will put you at 80 by the time you finish paying it off. By the time you finish paying off that 50-year mortgage, you are undoubtedly going to die the year you finish paying it off. There is no enjoyment in that. You're not enjoying your house. And then after you die, guess what? Somebody else then picks up the other side of it, unless you pass it off to your kids. Unless you pass it off to them. But then the craziness about it is you don't pass off the house. Somebody else gets that house that just got paid off a 50-year mortgage. Just got paid. You died. The next person steps in. Now they're paying 50-year mortgage on the house. The same house you just paid off on. This is why I think mortgages are a scam. Houses are being paid off on. And if the person dies and they don't hand it off to their kids, they'll say, well, the market value for the house is, well, the person paid off on that house. How is something that is paid off for then gets transferred to somebody anew, and now they're paying off on a mortgage on the same thing they just finished paying off on? You got people who own homes. They finished paying off on their house. Now, if they bought the house at, 200 grand, and now the marketing value goes up to 400, I get it. They get to live in that house for free. But now the market for the house goes up because somebody downtown, somebody in DC said, yeah, you know what? Let's just raise the fucking prices of the homes. So now you get the home and now you're paying for the same house at a higher cost when nothing really happened to that house. No value was added. They didn't add a pool to it. They didn't renovate the home. But for some reason, because it's in a nice neighborhood, well, let's mark up the price because it's in a nice neighborhood. And then there's also property tax. I don't even want to get involved in that bullshit. It's all a scam. The housing market is a giant scam. And yes, I do want a house, but I want to buy land. And land is a scam, to be honest with you, because you're always paying property taxes. And if you don't pay the property tax, now the land's not yours anymore. It's all bullshit, man. It's all bullshit. The more I started reading about the 50-year mortgage, I started learning more about mortgages just in reading this article. I was annoyed. I'm like, so you are forever in debt. Forever in debt. You buy land, people are like, this is my land. It's not really your land. As soon as you miss payment on that property tax, they can take it from you. Not as soon as you miss one payment, but you miss a few payments. Now they can take the land from you. The land is not truly yours if you're still paying property tax on it. For land to be yours, you shouldn't be paying anything on it. Nothing. These taxes, guys, that they add on us, for example, what the hell is it called? Luxury taxes, right? So you buy a car, the car's outright yours, but now you got to pay a property tax or a luxury tax on that said car or boat. It's bullshit. We should be at a governor's mansion, whatever state does that. We should be down in D.C. wrecking shop because they continue to add these taxes. They're like, oh, you got a new car. We're going to tax you on that. But I paid it off in full. We're going to tax you anyway. We're going to call it luxury tax because you don't really need a car. Now, in states like Connecticut, for example, or West Virginia, they want to charge you a luxury tax on, well, Virginia's a little different. Virginia is taxing you on cars. Connecticut is charging you taxes on boats and vehicles. And you need that vehicle in places like Connecticut. It's not like New York where you don't need it. And again, you pay the vehicle in full. You bought a used piece of shit. You bought it for $2,000. It's yours. But now they want you to pay a tax on it. And if you don't pay a tax on it, then what happens? They repo the car you bought? It doesn't make sense. I tell people in Connecticut, grow a pair of fucking balls and stop paying the property tax. You fucking sellouts. It's all a corrupt system, and we keep playing into it. 50-year mortgage, guys, bad idea. So they go, for example, the monthly payment for a $400,000 home with $80,000 down at a 5.9% APR is $2,293 a month for the homeowner for a 30-year mortgage. That would be dropped down to $2,055 on a 50-year mortgage. Not a big fucking break. Not a big break at all. Almost $150 off. So you're adding 20 more years to get $150 off a month. That doesn't make sense. That is by far the worst deal ever. But the problem is, guys, is that most people will not finish paying off a 50-year mortgage. They will die in the process of paying off that 50-year mortgage. Like they said, you will own nothing and be happy. They will give you the illusion you're saving money. They will give you the illusion that you own something, but you don't. And within that 50 years, you are going to pass away. And forget about being 40 years old and buying a home. Or in my case, 50 years old and buying a home. I will long be dead before I finish paying that off. So yeah, if they give you the option of 50 years, I see that. But it should be an option, not mandatory. Anyway, it's a dumbass idea. So apparently we missed, at least I think we missed, the aurora lights from last night. Apparently in Wisconsin they got a nice light show, so it didn't reach as far. But I did say that there is a stronger, I'm releasing a video today talking about the solar flares, but there is a stronger solar flare at an X51, which was released November 11th, which should be hitting us either tomorrow or the day after. Now, the day after, if it hits the day after, that is the strongest one so far this year. That one could definitely reach, and that one was stronger than the one we saw here in New York, right? Remember the light show we saw in New York last year, I think it was? That one, this one, the one released November 11th, was stronger than that one. So if that is the case, we should have a nice light show either tonight or tomorrow night. So the storms that were released. Okay, the first solar storm, if you will, or flare, was the X17 flare erupted on November 9th. The second was the X1.2 on November 10th, and on November 11th was an X5.1, the most powerful flare yet of 2025. All three are roaring towards the planet. The way they wrote it was gay. It's roaring towards us. It's coming at us, guys. It's going to get us. Anyway, so that's a coronal mass ejection, sending billions tons of solar plasma entangled in our magnetic field, creating that light show, if you will. And there are some theories, or rather speculations, that we might see some blackouts. We might experience some communication disruptions. It all depends on what it does when it hits us. So, with that being said, just be ready. That's all. Be ready for the possibility that, we could see some interesting shit. Now, I don't know how strong a solar flare needs to be to wipe us off the planet. I'm not interested in knowing that. But I tell you this much. A solar flare that wipes us out in that manner is going to suck. It's going to be painful because it's going to roast us. And a lot of people have talked about that in the past, and it's sort of like baking the planet all the way to its core. In fact, they actually think that if it bakes us to the core, it could stop the core as well. So that's an interesting, theory that's out there, that it wouldn't make us, a difference. We'll all be dead. But anyway, sorry for that. So Earth is facing a severe level, they call it, geomagnetic storm due to 3 powerful solar flares and associated explosions of solar material converging on our planet almost simultaneously. Solar flares erupted from the sunspot region. I didn't know the sun was broken up into regions, but whatever. Sunspot region AR4274, and are categorized as X-class flares, with the most powerful being X5.1 flare on November 1st. The forecast of the G4 level geomagnetic storms may reach latitudes far lower than usual, potentially causing disruption to power grids, blackouts, navigation equipment, communications, and radio blackouts, as well as internet disruptions as well. That could again be tonight or tomorrow night. The bigger class, the X51, could be tonight or tomorrow night. Now, if it is tonight, that's going to be pretty cool, pretty interesting to see. I'm at work tonight, so that sort of sucks because I could have hung out on my terrace and got a nice light show, at least through my camera. It would have been a nice light show. But whatever, I'll see what I can get from work. Should it happen, that is. And lastly, not least, I've been saying this for a little while, but Trump pardoning all of his criminal friends is exactly that. Some of the people that Trump is pardoning is insane. I don't even know why he's giving it a second thought. Uh, oh, Ladybug, I have lemon in here. I have lemon, ginger, and honey. It's not fucking working. Anyway, so that being said, Long Island drug dealer freed by Trump, now convicted of molesting his own kids. Nanny, the kid's nanny, excuse me, and threatening a synagogue congregate. I don't know why he would do that. But anyway, a Long Island drug dealer sprung from prison by President Trump has now been convicted of sexually assaulting his kid's nanny and threatening a congregation at his synagogue. Jonathan Braun, 41, landed a 27-month sentence in Brooklyn federal court for violating the terms of his 2021 presidential pardon, which with fresh crimes. Excuse me. Nassau County convict entered the bedroom of his live-in nanny, put her in a headlock, and groped her breast while he masturbated in February. That's a very aggressive wrestler's move. Putting your nanny in a headlock and then masturbating. Very aggressive. Anyway, Braun's victim, who dialed in on Monday's sentencing hearing by phone, asked prosecutor to read her victim's impact statement to the courtroom. Well, he's going away for a long while. The nanny wrote that she endured deep emotional trauma that left her with lasting trust issues, and added that she was grateful that justice had been served. All right. He served three. Sorry. After the disturbing assault from one of the stirring of violent incidents Braun is accused of since he was released on the final day of Trump's term in the White House after serving 3 years of his 10-year sentence. Braun was first busted in 2010 for orchestrating a major cannabis distribution ring, smuggling millions of dollars worth of weed from Canada to New York. And Trump pardoned him for that. Like, there are a lot of other people that can be pardoned. That's the last person I'm worried about. But because Mr. Braun is a tiny hat, that is why he got pardoned. So that's, people are wondering, why did he got pardoned because he was a tiny hat. He scored a plea deal in the case and landed him behind bars until pardoned by Trump. The convicted drug dealer who took a picture with Trump at one of his Florida golf courses in 2022 then was arrested in 2024 for allegedly slugging his wife and 75-year-old father-in-law. This guy has a problem. This guy has a track record for being an asshole, and Trump, again, pardoned him. Trump pardoned a lot of assholes this year. The amount of people he pardoned made no sense. I'm like, what the hell is this? And then there was a rumor that he was going to pardon Puffy. And they said that it was just a rumor. Bullshit. He was definitely thinking about doing it. You got to be kidding me. I don't understand why he's pardoning people. Like, the guy was, again, weed is not the end of the world. I understand that. But to pardon somebody, put your name on that, and just to be proven, just to look like an asshole, that's the more bizarre shit. You know, like, you knew this guy had a track record of being a dick. This wasn't his first time getting in trouble. He got in trouble before, but then Trump pardons him, and then he gets in trouble for punching his wife in the face and groping his nanny. And that probably wasn't the first time he groped his nanny. Trump definitely has he's a bad judgment of character. Big time. He said he was a good judgment of character. No, you're not. Not at all. Anyway, that being said, that's about it. I'm not going anywhere. I've got to go for a walk, make some more tea, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the doubleheader. If I sound worse than this tomorrow, I'm not going to do the live stream, because this coughing and shit and all the talking just sucks. Anyway, other than that, I will probably see you guys tomorrow for the doubleheader. If this gets worse, then you'll see me next week. Other than that, guys, You enjoy yourself, enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you either tomorrow or next Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your day.